Number 6. Remind yourself that when you die, your in basket won't be empty. So many of us live our lives as if the secret purpose is to show, get everything done. We stay up late, get up early, avoid having fun, and keep our loved ones waiting. Sadly, I have seen many people who put off their loved ones so long that the loved ones lose interest in maintaining the relationship. I used to do this myself. Often we convince ourselves that our obsession with our to-do list is only temporary. That once we get through the list, we will be calm, relaxed, and happy. But in reality, this rarely happens. As items are checked off, new ones simply replace them. The nature of your in basket is that it meant to have item to be completed in it. It is not meant to be empty. There will always be phone calls that need to be made, project to be completed, and work to be done. And in fact, it can be argued that a full in basket is essential for success. It means your time is diamond, regardless of who you are, what you do. However, remember that nothing is more important than your own sense of happiness and inner peace and that of your loved ones. If you're obsessed with getting everything done, you will never have a sense of well-being. In reality, almost everything can wait. Very little in our work lives truly falls into the emergency category. If you stay focused on your work, it will all get done in due time. I find that if I remind myself frequently that the purpose of life isn't to get it all done, but enjoy each step along the way that I live a life filled with love, it's far easier for me to control my obsession with completing my list of things to do. Remember, when you die, there will still be unfinished business to take care of. And you know what? Someone else will do it for you. Don't waste any more precious moment of your life regretting the inevitable. Number 7. Don't interrupt others or finish their sentence. It wasn't until a few years ago that I realized how often I interrupted others and finished their sentence. Shortly thereafter, I also realized how destructive this habit was, not only to respect and love I receive from others, but also for the tremendous amount of energy it takes to try to be in two head at once. Think about it for a moment. When you hurry someone along, interrupt someone, or finish his or her sentence, you have to keep track not only of your own thoughts but of those person who are interrupting as well. This tendency, which by the way is extremely common in busy people, encourages both parties to speed up their speeches and their thinking. This is in turn makes both people nervous, irritable, and annoyed. It's downright exhaustion. It's also the cause of many arguments. Because if there is one thing almost everyone resents, it's someone who doesn't listen to what they are saying. And how can you really listen to what someone is saying when you are speaking for that person? Once you begin noticing yourself interrupting others, you will see that this insidious tendency is nothing more than an innocent habit that has become invisible to you. This is good news because it means that all you really have to do to begin catching yourself when you forget. Remind yourself before a conversation begins, if possible, to be patient and wait. Tell yourself to allow the other person to finish speaking before you take your turn. You will notice right away how much the interaction which the people in your life will improve as direct result of this simple act. The people you communicate with will feel much more relaxed around you when they feel heard and listened to. You will also notice how much more relaxed you will feel when you stop interrupting others. Your heart and pulse rate will slow down and you will begin to enjoy your conversation rather than rush through them. This is an easy way to become more relaxed, loving person. Number 8. Do something nice for someone else and don't tell anyone about it. While many of us frequently do nice things for others, we are almost certain to mention our acts of kindness to someone else, secretly seeking their approval. When we share our own niceness or generosity with someone else, it makes us feel like we are thoughtful people. It reminds us of how nice we are and how deserving we are of kindness. Well, all acts of kindness are inherently wonderful, and there is something even more magical about doing something thoughtful, but mentioning it to no one ever. You always feel good when you give it to others, rather than diluting the positive feelings by telling others about your own kindness. By keeping it yourself, you get it to retain all the positive feelings. It's really true that one should give for the sake of giving, not receiving something in return. This is precisely what you are doing when you don't mention your kindness to others. Your reward or the warm feeling that come from the act of giving the next time you do something really nice for someone else. Keep it to yourself and reveal in abundant joy of giving. Number 9. Let others have the glory. There is something magical that happens to the human spirit, a sense of calm that comes over you when you cease needing all the attention directed toward yourself and instead allows others to have the glory. Our need for excessive attention is that egocentric part of us that says, "Look at me. I'm special. My story is more interesting than yours." It's that wise insight of us that may not come right out and say it, but that wants to believe that my accomplishments are slightly more important than yours. The ego is that part of us that wants to be seen, heard, respected, considered special, often at the expense of someone else. It's the part of us that interrupts someone else's story or impatiently waits has turned to speak so that he can bring conversation and attention back to himself. To varying degrees, most of us engage in has habit much to our own determinant when you immediately dive in and bring the conversation back toward you. You can subtly minimize the joy and that person has in sharing, and in doing so create distance between yourself and others. Everyone loses. The next time someone tells you a story or shares accomplishment with you, notice your tendency to say something about yourself in response. Although it's a difficult habit to break, it's not only enjoyable but actually peaceful to have the quiet confidence to be able to surrender your need for attention and state share in the joy of someone else's glory. Rather than jumping right in saying, "Once I did it the same thing," or "Guess what? I did today." Bite your tongue and notice that what happens. Just say, "That's wonderful," or "Please tell me more," and leave it that. The person you are speaking to will have so much fun, and because you are so much more present, because you are listening so carefully, he or she won't feel in competition with you. The result will be that person will feel more relaxed around you, making him or her more confident as well as more interesting. You too will feel more relaxed because you won't be on the edge of your seat waiting your turn. Obviously, there are many times when it is absolutely appropriate to exchange experience back and forth and to share in the glory and attention rather than giving it all away. I'm referring here to compulsive need to grab it from others. Ironically, when you surrender your need to hog the glory and attention you used to need from other people is replaced by quiet inner confidence that is derived from the letting others have it. Number 10. Learn to live in the present moment. To large degree, the measure of our peace of mind is determined by how much we are able to live in the present moment. Irrespective of what happened yesterday or last year and what may or may not happen tomorrow. And the present moment is very where you are, in the present moment where you are always. Without question, many of us have mastered the neurotic art of spending much of our lives worrying about a variety of things. All at once, we allow past problems and future concerns to dominate our present moment so much so that we end up anxious, frustrated, depressed, and hopeless. On the flip side, we also postpone our gratification, our state of priorities, and our happiness, are often convincing ourselves that someday will be better than today. Unfortunately, the same mental dynamics that tell us to look toward the future will only repeat themselves so that someday never actually arrives. John Leon once said, "Life is what happening while we are busy making other plans." We are busy making other plans. Our children are busy growing up. The people we love are moving away and dying. Our bodies are getting out of shape, and our dreams are slipping away. In short, we miss out on life. Many people live as if life were a dress rehearsal for some later day. It isn't. In fact, no one has guarantee that he or she will be here tomorrow. Now, it is the only time we have, and the only time that we have any control over. When our attention is in the present moment, we push fear from our minds. Fear is a concern over events that might happen in the future. We won't have enough money. Our children will get into trouble. We will get old and die. Whatever. To combat fear, best strategy is to learn to bring your attention back to the present. Mark Twain said, I have been through some terrible I have been through some terrible things in my life, some of which actually happened. I don't think I can say it any better. Practice keeping your attention on here and now. Your efforts will pay great dividends.